What's up? I'm going to be making another replay video. This is going to be another one of Rumble. I'm sorry if you're sick of Rumble by now, but honestly, he's one of my better picks and someone I really play a lot in ranked, so I do try to pick him as often as I can when I go middle. This game was a little bit tricky, to be honest, because I didn't even know who I was going to be dealing with because, Shogath and Garen got early picked, and I was like, wow, either of those two could be the mid lane. If it's Garen, that's an easy win. If it's Shogath, it's still kind of a somewhat easy win as long as it's a pure 1v1 lane, but in this case, it really didn't feel like it. So yeah, I'm gonna speed this video up a little bit in the early parts at least, because this game became 40 minutes long, okay? So in order to save some time and just skim through some of the slower parts, I'm going to speed it up. So it's a little bit of a convenience. Anyways, I guess I could just slow it down a little bit now to normal speed. This game, wow. It was such an emotional roller coaster, to be honest. As you can see, Pantheon was in base for a really, really long time. Hecarim kept asking for help from Pantheon, he was pinging him in chat, but he wouldn't come. And then I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll do it. But then, Hecarim was pinging me back because he pretty much was like, I can do Raptors on my own, I got this. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, that makes sense actually that Hecarim can do that, because, Kayn can do it, why couldn't Hecarim, right? So he does it without any problems, and it makes me wonder, why don't Hecarims do that more often? You start Raptors so that solo laners can go to their lane, right? But I guess this also a different thing where most Hecarims do start blue, I think, not red, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not a damn jungler. Shouldn't be asking me these freaking advanced questions. Either way, I was pretty amused by the fact that Hecarim can do Raptor start. Maybe most of you guys should know that maybe want to jungle him, or just, I don't know, try to have some more independent junglers, because the worst part about playing jungle is not having a good leash or start. And being able to solo Raptors is a pretty big deal. Either way, I'm playing my lane, and, top lane immediately gets killed, which to me was so odd, because I felt like, when you're dealing with a Twitch jungle, you kind of have to treat it like it's a Twisted Fate that's level 6, right? He can ult into your lane at any point, and just show up and completely surprise you and kill you. And Twitch is kind of like the way that he can show up as soon as the laning phase starts, right? Because as soon as the laning phase starts, Twitch has already done his red buff, and he could go wherever. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Pantheon did argue about the fact that how could he expect the Twitch gank when red buff side was actually bottom and not top. Here Twitch does gank me, and fortunately I had shields so I could mitigate some of that damage I received, but Shogath makes these ganks really tough to survive because he has that knock up and he has the silence too. It kind of felt bad, but basically whenever you play against a Twitch jungle, you should treat it like you're playing against a Twisted Fate at level 6 when you're level 1, right? So what that means is you have to play defensively, kind of not try to push the lane at all. You have to let the enemy laner just push it in. Slowly if it's necessary. And sometimes, missing CS is not a big deal, because dying to Twitch is the worst part. Because the thing is, Twitch is crap as a jungler in the jungle, right? He has really terrible clearance speed early on. He doesn't have any items to be quick. It's kind of like Shaco, but way worse, I think. Anyways, Twitch goes top lane, and again, Pantheon didn't really respect it. Garen didn't have Ignite that time either, and it just became an easy kill. And at this point, freaking Pantheon is complaining at us, and he's saying go next, play next game. And I'm like, come on, dude, don't be like that. And yeah, I could kind of understand why Pantheon's frustrated, because Pantheon is a champion that, he scales really badly in this game. He really is one of the worst scalers. So I can understand why Pantheon frustrated that barely 4 minutes have gone and he's already given 2 kills. That's one death per 2 minutes, right? That's pretty crazy when you think about that, right? So, I'm like, yeah, okay, that kind of sucks. I'm gonna try and just do the best I can for my lane, because as far as we can see, it's just top lane that's losing. We can still salvage this game, if bot lane gets ahead, or if even I can get ahead. But the problem with Shogath is that he's a really, really sturdy tank, And when you play him AP as well, he still gets that free health from his ultimate, so he can still be really annoying to deal with. And not to mention, the Q spell, knocking you up, and then the W, the silence, it can be a lot of trouble. Anyways, I placed a deep ward in the jungle this time, so I would know when the Twitch would come up, and I saw him through like the little the corner brush thing in the jungle entrance that, you know, Twitch was there, so I was like, okay, you know what, waste your time in middle brush Twitch, I'm just going back to base. And got my sorcerer shoes early on. Thinking about it though, maybe Merctress could have been better in some situations, because Shogun's silence really did screw me up a little bit sometimes. But I almost always try to go sorcerer shoes because it's just such a good item for Rumble, you know, extra movement speed plus the, what's it called, the magic pen. And magic pen is a stat that Rumble insanely scales with. I wish there were more like small magic pen items, kind of like Moralnomicon. If there was something else that was like a third magic pen item, kind of like how 80 Shambies have like lethality, right? They have like, well, like 4 items? No, 3 items, right? Like they got Juma's Ghostblade, they got the Duskblade of Draktar or something. Oh yeah, here I'm like, yeah, we have to win bot lane. I don't think I'm gonna win mid lane, so I'm just gonna go bot and see if there's anything going. Of course, this time enemy bot lane didn't show up fast enough, so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna take a trip to see if there's anything to clear. And of course, there was a pink one in Tri-Rush, classic. It's fine. So I go back to my lane. A lot of ping is going on in the map. Let's see what happens here, actually. I'm a little bit confused. This is kind of like a slow part, I think. Anyways, mid lane is constantly pushed by me, so that's kind of good. I'm maxing out Q for this lane. Honestly, after playing the lane through, I feel like maxing E would have been better against Shogath. But I just did Q max because I felt like it was just going to be a push war. Because I just wanted to push him out because I felt like he was just going to push the whole lane as well. Anyways, I can see that Hecarim's like trying to do stuff in the jungle, so I'm like trying to be attentive, you know, constantly pushing in, doing harass, and then I ate a silence there. This is kind of the thing that you have to deal with as Rumble, though. You just have to walk up to people and kind of eat the damage head on. Your shield is supposed to be able to deal with the aftermath after the initial burst of whatever damage you take. But I do also use the W quite often in lane, just to like move around and be speedy and unpredictable. Sometimes that can really settle some panic in people and, you know, make them miss minions and stuff, and whatever spells they might have as well from all the extra movement speed you're getting. This, as you can see, Choga's like really low health. I'm really chunking him down here. If I had my E spell maxed out sooner, I feel like I probably could have gotten a few some more edge on this Shogath during this game. But unfortunately, the Q, I realized that I'm not really getting some, what's it called, flamethrower damage unless I put myself at risk as well, which is a pretty big deal in this lane, because once I get caught out, it's just an easy kill for Twitch. So, on retrospective, I think E-Spell was almost always better. Anyways, here I kind of get a little bit greedy because I see him getting low health, and I'm like smelling that blood, man. I'm like, damn, I can feel the kill coming. I got ultimate, I got ignite. It feels like he's like in that health range where I can just completely have him. And at the same time, it's kind of odd that Cho'Gath is still like willing to be around with that low health. So I should be sensing that, you know, danger is coming. I get knocked up, Twitch shows up, and I'm like, oh my god, freaking typical, dude. Twitch just is ganking forever, and of course he actually ganks middle. Anyways, that was bad on me. I should have been able to predict the fact that, you know, it was kind of weird that Cho'Gath was staying middle with that low health. Knowing that I had Ignite and my ultimate, that's a pretty big deal. And honestly, that was also an easy read for me to make. But at the time, I didn't really care. I just wanted to get a kill because I felt a little bit desperate to get kills because of the whole situation with Pantheon, right? Really tilted player and also, you know, really far behind. Anyway, Hecarim actually managed to do something great there. He managed to get the flash for Sho'Gath and the kill as well. So kind of a little bit of redemption for me. Anyways, the one thing I noticed when I'm starting to go back to lane is that bot lane is constantly pushed in. Our jungler isn't really capitalizing on that. So I feel like someone should make a difference about it. Now, here's the great thing about Rumble, right? And also because I maxed out the Q, so in retrospective, maybe maxing out Q wasn't that bad, is that Q makes it so that pushing lane just that much easier. I don't know why I'm not using here. I guess I'm trying to be a little bit precise here. You spamming flamethrower on the minion wave also is kind of bad because sometimes you will miss some minions just because of how uneven the damage becomes because of dots. So here I'm just like, yeah, I know exactly what my game plan is. I'm like, yeah, you know what? If I just stay middle and try to kill Shogath, I'm most likely going to get killed by Twitch. So the plan here is, we're gonna gank. We're gonna pretend we're Twisted Fate now. Except we take the slow way to bot lane. So I'm like, yeah, I can go there. I put a pink ward behind me so just in case Twitch shows up and we can tell from there. Twitch actually gets killed by Pantheon top, which was great. I go bot lane and of course I dropped the ultimate perfectly on top of both the Janna and the Jinx. Because they actually flashed right after Nami ulted. I spam pinged bot lane, by the way, that I was coming because I noticed that they weren't doing anything to, like, you know, force the enemy bot lane into a fight. And as soon as that Nami ultimate went down, I was like, yeah, this is free low. And then, of course, go bot lane, get that double kill for myself. I'm feeling really good now all of a sudden. So, yeah, that was good. And honestly, I feel like that was a pretty decent read because that's something a lot of people don't realize you have to do as a mid laner. You do actually have to know like when to gank a different lane and not stay in yours. And unfortunately here, the same goddamn story happened from earlier. I get ganked and yeah. Pantheon tries to salvage this. I do believe he gets the kill. Yeah, he gets the kill, but then immediately gets ulted after. And Pantheon gets actually triggered here because he was like, oh my god, Cho'Gath still has ultimate? How could they even kill you? It's like, come on, dude. How do you mean, how could they even kill me without Cho'Gath ultimate? They don't really need Cho'Gath ultimate because, like, as soon as it gets knocked up and slowed and then silenced, there's not much I can do to get out. And of course, Twitch damage just stacks, and of course the slows, and it's just a ridiculous amount of damage. Either way, I'm really not trying to pay attention to the Pantheon because at this point, it's just a person who's died 4 times, you know, at 12 minutes. Was trying to criticize me, so I'm like, you know, I'm still trying to win this game, but Pantheon is like really interested in losing the game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all the surrender vote attempts that happened this game was purely from him, and I always voted no. Yeah, I saw him as a very tilted player, and I just let him be, you know, like not try to feed into his chat too much. Anyways, I was like, yeah, you know what? I want a rerun of the last show we pulled off bot lane. So exactly the same path, you know, that pink ward, of course, also kind of like showing me that the path is right. And there was a pink ward in that brush, and it's kind of too late for them. I kind of do an alright ultimate there because it cut off like Jinx's path back to the lane normally. And forced her to fight the enemy bot lane 2v1. And, you know, I just pick up that kill easily against the Janna. So that was actually pretty cool. Back-to-back ganks bot lane worked both times. And, of course, a lot of it has to do with the fact that enemy bot lane is, for some reason, really confident because, you know, the rest of the map seems to be winning. And, I mean, they probably have reasons to feel confident, but there's the thing, right? Some people don't know how to get carried. And people think that, you know, getting carried is as simple as doing nothing and, you know, win the game. No, getting carried means that when you know somebody else is winning really hard, that's the moment when, you know, you have to be like, yeah, you know what? Those guys, they're set for life, or at least for this game. We just gotta let it be. If we feel like we're getting, like, ahead, sure, maybe we can try to capitalize it, but let's not go too crazy, right? Let's try to play a little bit reserved. But some people don't get this in solo queue, right? So they just go all out and just go ham. And they risk it and they get killed. And they start giving up kills to the enemy. And here, as you can see, Ballin is getting like a really nice little streak there. But unfortunately, kills come back right after because Twitch was happened to be in the bot side jungle too. And kills the Kaisa, who's doing pretty well at this point. So what I was trying to say with the whole getting carried thing, I've been on about that before because people really think it's a joke, you know, oh, getting carried, it's so easy. No, dude, when you're getting carried, you have to stop taking risks, right? You don't want anyone in the enemy team to get a glimmer of hope by like getting some really random, unnecessary kills from you. And there's this thing about this game. People think that, you know, there is such a thing as, you know, not being able to die on command or on desire. But sometimes that's really hard to pull off, but you can work towards it, right? You can kind of like do all these things to, oh shit, oh, that was annoying as hell. Full 80 Garen with Jumo's Ghostblade just kills me, silences me, and does a ton of damage to me, thanks to that goddamn passive that makes you do like true damage with your E. And yeah, it did do a lot of ridiculous damage there. Anyway, bot lane is trying to pull off a fight here. I don't know if something happens here. I don't think it does. Oh, wow. A knockup. Kai'Sa getting, like, really, like, really hungry for kills here. I feel like she kind of feels like the pressure is on her to perform. Which it kind of is, to be honest. When you get 3 kills like that, and your lane is, like, the only one really winning in the game, I guess the pressure is pretty high. I felt like I was kind of even to Sho'gaf, but, you know, roaming that many times, it did put me behind in farm like quite a bit. But I felt like, you know, a little bit of farm to make sure that my bot lane gets ahead, that was worthy. Anyways, I just realized that the freaking scoreboard is, like, not going up. So, please stay. There. Alright. Oh, wow. Here we go. Oh yeah, I remember now. I go super crazy for this kill. I flash and everything. Pantheon actually ults behind here, and it was actually a pretty nice little setup here. Oh wait, do we get this kill too? I think we do. Yeah, nice. All right, I forgot about this, but you know, it was a 5v4 because Twitch was suddenly pushing top lane. He did get the Rift Herald out, which does mean we're gonna lose a tower at least here because he's all alone. But yeah, this is a part of like Twitch not really utilizing his lead like well enough. At the point where you're like really doing well in a game, you should be grouping up with your team as much as possible because, you know, as soon as you're split up, that means the power is divided really unevenly throughout the whole game. And, you know, Twitch is the one who's 5 kills in. His other teammates are like, okay, like Cho'Gath is kind of alright with 4 kills. Garen doing really alright with 3 kills. But, you know, bot lane is doing really badly, and when you're this far ahead, maybe you should be going to bot lane a little bit because you should be able to do a lot of damage. Now, I understand you probably want to stick to, you know, the people who are strong in your team instead of the weak ones. I totally get that, like, because sometimes it is a lost cause to try to help a losing lane, but in this situation, most of the other strong players were with bot lane. So where do you think Twitch should be? Should it be solo pushing a lane or should it be helping out the rest of his team? I feel like in this situation where Twitch is really weak and you really can't do much of an impact, split pushing a lane is probably the right choice. But when he is as ahead as he is, his team might need him, you know? So I do feel like that, even though we won that team fight purely because we caught him out like bosses, I feel like most of it was on the Twitch there. Like, you know, getting a lead and not really getting to do much with it. Anyways, here get caught out. And again, like, just getting so annoyed by this goddamn rat. Yeah, that was unfortunate. We did get the Janna killed, but at what cost? And in the end, Twitch ends up dying, but so does Kai'Sa. Pantheon goes in with his ultimate a little bit late, to be fair. But yeah, Pantheon is like really desperate because he's constantly flaming us throughout this game, by the way. And he's just running around in circles and he's trying to find something. He's really, really trying to force something, even though we're probably in a worse position. And then, you know, Pantheon just gives up that kill. That was so weird, you know, when you look back at it. Like that movement, it just made no sense. And then, you know, he had the audacity to like blame the team. He was like, oh, great. They have a team. Surrender. That's basically what he said right at that point. And I was like, oh man, this guy. Because the problem with these people are, you know, they're tilted, they're negative, and you don't really feel like you want to win for them. But you have to remember, right? I'm not playing ranked for the strangers that I end up with. I'm playing ranked because I want to win. I want to proceed and go higher, further up in the rankings. So you have to kind of like forget about, you know, all the possible negative people that are out there. So yeah, I just toughened up. You know, I don't care about the criticism of a random player who dies like that often in a game. So I'm just gonna focus on myself, or well, rather the part of the team that still feels pretty functional at least, and just try to, you know, play it out. And here comes a really, really annoying point of the game where I remember this death really vividly. Twitch shows up, he does his ultimate. He gets that stupid long auto attack range, and then of course Jinx is also next to Twitch, and she's auto attacking me with her longest ranged what's it called? Her form with the rocket launcher when she's shooting with the longest auto attack range as well. That was really annoying. I really didn't want to what's it called? I really didn't want to give that kill up, but honestly, if there's one thing that Rumble really struggles with, it's extremely long ranges. That was a really weird ultimate by Pantheon, and oh wow, he ulted right into Shogun Q. I actually didn't see this because I think I was focusing in the shop. Yeah, and you can imagine if Pantheon was already been negative and he ends up doing that, he's gonna be even more negative right after this. So I feel like I'm kind of making you guys I'm giving you guys a little bit of what's the word? Advantage? No. I'm giving you guys a little bit of I guess I'm saving your brain cells is what I'm trying to say, you know, by not letting showing you guys what this guy is like saying to us and like blaming really. Like he felt like he was never the wrong the person was doing the wrong things throughout the game, and you know, mindsets like that are pretty dangerous in terms of becoming better. Anyways, here I become a little bit desperate, and I'm like, I want to kill this Shogun. And I was fortunate enough that, you know, Kai'Sa did decide to follow up with it, and we do get a relatively easy kill on the Shogun. Because I saw him, like, just get caught here with the E-spell, with the slows. I was like, oh, wow, he's getting hit by my slows. And I just dropped the ultimate, ignite him. And then, of course, Kai'Sa also started smelling the blood, and, of course, we just destroy him. This Shogun is a full AP Shogun. He's not building a little bit of resistance anywhere. So as soon as I hit those slows, I knew that the guy was dead. Of course, there was that little point where he could have jumped over with the thing, but Nami's ultimate actually stops him from jumping over with knocking him up right in midair. That was actually extremely good by Nami, to be honest. So credit to her. So yeah. We get the Shogun caught, but I feel like we don't really make too much progress with that. We're still, you know, I'm still feeling somewhat confident. You know, it's 19-17. It could be way worse. Hecarim, of course, just doing Hecarim things, ulting in, then Eing the Janna to, like, just completely burst her down. I mean, a lot of people do criticize Hecarim for being a really stupidly powerful champion, but let's be honest here, it's a Trinity Force with like damage enchantment jungle item, so like this is pure damage Hecarim, so it makes sense that he would do that much damage. I mean, come on, he's a melee champion, he should be doing crazy damage if he's only building damage, right? So yeah. Oh, I don't remember what happens here actually. This is a kind of interesting situation. Oh yeah, I remember now. Twitch flashes to try and get the Kai'Sa. I ult because I really don't want Kai'Sa to die there. Having Kai'Sa lose her shutdown gold, especially to an AD carry in this situation, Twitch. I did this thing again. How the hell do I? Is there a command for getting this scoreboard up? Really random Pantheon ultimate right in front of Jinx. Really obvious. I don't know what that was. But anyways, in the meantime, when Pantheon is doing his own thing, we're kind of like getting a team fight going on here, and it's just catch after catch, and I don't remember what happens here. Oh, I think, oh yeah, they're pinging for Baron. I feel like this is a pretty dumb idea because how low we are and the fact that, you know, Jinx is the one alive. Jinx can really do some easy damage by poking with her rocket launcher. So I knew it was a risk, so I kind of tried to show my team that I don't want to do this by moving as far as possible from the Baron pit and kind of like try to contest the enemy champions. And it's here I flash, I try to do a lot of damage to Jinx, and then of course that happens. Hecarim does get the kill. I tried to run away from this Garen just so I don't get finished off by him, but he didn't have his ultimate, so I was kind of lucky. And we kind of cleaned that up, and it's looking pretty good. It suddenly feels like we really do have a legitimate chance at winning these team fights. Hecarim's doing a lot of work, of course, with like his engages and just, you know, crazy picks that he's doing on the enemy support. Oh my god, I pressed tab again. There has to be a button for this. Hang on. Oh wow, I'm pressing the wrong thing. Sorry guys, spectator noob. I usually never do this. Okay, there we go. Let's put the camera back on me though. Yeah, so at this point, even though I'm a mage or an AP bruiser, whatever you want to call Rumble, I'm working the sort of the, what do you call? It's kind of like a middle ground of being a damage dealer and also the protector of the person who was actually winning the game. Oh wow, okay, yeah, that was a really terrible catch for us. And then of course, I see that the Twitch is going crazy on me, but I decided to do as much damage as possible to Twitch before I die. Put the ignite on him, drop the ultimate on top of him. I probably could have done the ultimate placement a lot better there, but you know, that's Twitch at half health, and you know, Twitch is an 80 carry. He doesn't really have many defensive capacities. So with him being that low health, my team easily picks up the kill. And oh, I don't remember how this went. Oh yeah, Hecarim just barely survived that. Oh my god, Hecarim was like going back and forth and it's going crazy. Pantheon goes in on the Garen. At this point, we don't really care too much. But Hecarim, of course, he's going to do his Hecarim thing on Janna once more. I don't know how many times I've seen Hecarim rushing with E on Janna, killing her. It's pretty funny, actually, now that I think back on it. Anyways, this is looking pretty good, though. We managed to stop the Baron attempt there. Even though they technically caught us and made us look like fools, we still, you know, we got a lot more from it back. Because at this point, you know, getting the Twitch and stuff killed, it's a pretty big deal, since he's the one that's giving the most gold. Here, I don't remember how exactly... okay. Oh, yeah. I rushed towards Sho'gaf because I felt like, you know, I wasn't being threatened by the Garen too much. And I actually make him panic and he flashes, you know? Like, I put the God of Fear into Sho'gaf. Yeah, a 3-7 Rumble. Scaring a freaking full AP Sho'gaf. I wouldn't have thought so, but hey, it happened and you saw it. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the reason why Sho'gaf ran there was because he thought the same thing was going to happen that happened right here, right? When he would try to escape me. And then, like, Kai'Sa came in and did crazy stuff. Anyways. Oh, yeah, I remember this. I ulted the Jinx because Pantheon said he was going in. And, of course, we do get the Jinx killed relatively easy. But he does get caught out immediately right after. But, you know, that's 180 carry down. And even though Jinx is behind... she is like a really annoying person or annoying champion to deal with. Anyways, here we're going really ham. I don't know if I really agreed with this moment, the moment it happened. But I saw opportunity and I just do as much damage as I can and then go right into Sonya's waiting for my cooldowns to come back up. But then I really can't do that much right after and I get picked up and killed. It was sad. Anyways, Kai'Sa, of course, our little beacon of hope, staying alive and, you know, just not trying to feed. So also a lot of credit to her, of course, for, you know, trying to play this game out even though that really, really rough start happened. Of course, I did also help out with the lane and stuff. Anyways, Kai'Sa going crazy on the Twitch and managed to get the kill and just narrowly avoid that freaking knock-up spell from Sho'gaf. This also was a little bit crazy, that the fact that she still got away here. Like, she just goes left and Sho'gaf and Janna just chose to not follow up, which I feel like was a little bit of a miss. That was like a 50-50 in like what direction Kai'Sa was gonna take, because they could appear either way. Yeah, I was really impressed by the Kai'Sa in this game, so I was really happy that, you know, that was the lane that I helped out the most. Anyways, still though, even though Kai'Sa's doing well and all, I still have a role to play in this game, and surprisingly though, even though I'm kind of acting the role of a bodyguard and a damage dealer a little bit, I do still need to do focuses, right? Like, I can't just be the one who peels for Kai'Sa and slows whatever target is trying to jump on her, which sometimes, you know, I have, you know, like that ultimate that I did on Twitch that was chasing down the Kai'Sa. I do also have to focus on whoever is the easiest target, and fortunately, you know, the thing about Twitch is that he is a champion with no defensive capacities other than his stealth, right? So the moment he comes out of his stealth, Twitch is actually a super vulnerable champion. So basically, he's like no mobility, no random shield or whatever spells he's got, which means that he's a very, very, how could you call it, a stationary AD carry, right? Like, he kind of stands still, just does his damage. That's kind of the point of him. And the thing about Rumble is that he actually thrives on champions that have to stand still to do most of their damage, because, you know, the ultimate is a stationary ult. It just sticks on one point. And yeah. Anyways, we do the Mountain Dragon really quickly, and the enemy team is like, yeah, we can do Baron really, really easily here. So I'm like pinging, we gotta go ham, and I'm spamming that my R is ready. Pantheon actually goes in with his R and manages to luckily steal the Baron just as it was low health enough. We go in and we just clean house. I get knocked out by Sho'gaf. What an asshole. But hey, we completely wiped the enemy. That was so satisfying, really. Oh wait, Twitch got out. I think. Yeah, he has really low health, but he's probably like in the jungle here somewhere. And we got the Baron. Pantheon dies for it, but at least his hero ultimate did get the Baron. And at this point, Pantheon's behavior actually starts changing quite a lot. He's like, "Oh my god, well done, team. That's awesome." And then he goes like, "Oh, excuse me for my tilt earlier, but I hope that was a redeeming play." And I was like, "Come on, dude. What do you mean redeeming play? That was like completely by luck you even got the ult. I mean that you managed to steal the Baron." But I was like, whatever, you know. If he feels like he's suddenly Mr. Nice Guy, that I guess that's great for the overall team morale. Yeah, we got 2 towers in the middle right after getting the Baron, and then you know Hecarim's just pushing top lane like crazy. They almost tried to catch him there, but you know it's Hecarim. He's just gonna run fast as hell and get out. So yeah, that was a pretty big like game turning point. It is 27-33, and now we're leading by 5k gold. Of course, I'm really far behind on CS, but remember, I spent a lot of this game just, you know, running around and, you know, doing other things than just lane. And as I said, it's one of my weak points recently where, like, or rather, one of the things that I notice about my playstyle that can be my weakness is that I really, really roam a lot. But that's often because I feel like people do a lot of stupid mistakes that they shouldn't be doing, like almost 24/7 in ranked, that you can really abuse if you're always on the move, which is basically what I always do with my other champions anyway. Like I said, global champions, that's kind of my thing, but Rumble is not a global champion, so it kind of makes me focus a little bit more on the laning phase than other champions. Anyway, we got Baron buff. We're trying to play the slow game, you know, push it in the middle out. And Pantheon is pushing Ballin out as well. But I feel like the enemy team doesn't really feel like Pantheon is a big threat. So they kind of like just focus on us. They sent Garen down there. But Garen is one of the fed people in the enemy team who unfortunately just spelled damage, which means that he's actually really easy to kill. Anyways, we go ham on them. Kai'Sa goes really ham, unfortunately. And here, she goes ham on the Twitch, and I kind of decide to help out the Kai'Sa. I do manage to get the Twitch kill, which is a pretty big deal, considering he is the most fed person. I do end up dying for it, and honestly, I should have used my Sunny's Hourglass at that point. But his crit just surprised me by a lot. I was trying to use it at the very last second so I can get out as many spells as possible before Sunny's thing, but he just destroyed me. So it sucked, but, you know, Twitch died. So as soon as Twitch is dead, I kind of feel like my team is a little bit safe, because now suddenly the 10 death guy, or the 10 kill guy is down. Unfortunately, they do get a pick on the Kai'Sa. Poor Kai'Sa was doing really, really well not dying. And yeah, I guess you can kind of forgive her. You know, she's been doing a good job at it up until now. And arguably, that probably is enough, you know, because we got the Baron, we got a lot of towers, we opened up the mid lane and got the inhib. It's looking really good. Like, how can you really ask more at this point from the AD carry? Of course, not dying would have been sweet, but it's whatever. At this point, it feels like giving a kill to Garen or Sho'gaf, it's really not going to make much of a difference, right? Like, what are they going to build? It's going to be ridiculous. Guardian Angel on Garen is down. Holy crap, I didn't really realize this build on Garen. He went Jones Ghostblade straight into Trinity Force, and then he built an Infinity Edge or Guardian Angel, or either in that direction. It's kind of like an AD carry build. Holy crap. What? This actually works, though? Because I know that Garen's E-spell can crit, but I feel like this would have been a much more legit build if Trinity Force still gave crit, because that would increase the chances of getting, like, the sick crits from the Infinity Edge. But, yeah, that's crazy. Build. The fact that he was actually winning so much doing this kind of gives me the idea that this might be legit, actually. I mean, I'm kind of used to seeing tank Garen, and I can kind of understand going full AD Garen, but, you know, you're Garen. You're going to take a lot of damage when you go deep into the enemy team just to try and get the AD carry. So the fact that he went full glass cannon probably is the reason why he's not really, like, reaching the Kai'Sa fast enough. Anyways, here we're just waiting for the Green Dragon. I remember feeling like this was really redundant because, you know, Green Dragon is such a, you know, it's kind of a pointless dragon towards late game, to be honest. Yeah, because you're in late game, it's almost always like team fighting and stuff. Green Dragon is kind of more for like, it's good when you're pushing out lanes because you're kind of like waiting out for the minion waves to come down, and then when you wait for the minion waves, you know, you can actually make use of that regeneration of mana and health. But in situations like late game, you're kind of like not doing that. I mean, you kind of are a little bit, but it's mainly team fights late game, right? So like the green dragon, pretty pointless dragon, but whatever. Now we have one green dragon to match theirs, right? So it's not an unfair advantage when slow moments happen in the game. Let's speed up this a little bit because I feel like it's going a little bit slow. Anyways, yeah. Oh wow, this is actually so ridiculous to follow. Yeah, okay. I feel like this is kind of like starting to happen stuff here. Oh, yeah, I remember now. So yeah, Baron was up, and we kind of tried to do it behind their backs, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? If my team is gonna do it, I'm just gonna kind of patrol around here to make sure that nobody tries to contest it. And you know, we actually do it really, really safely. Twitch doesn't show up, Garen doesn't show up. It's essentially a free Baron. And again, my tab just fell down again because I don't have it. I used to press the tab button so much. All right. So now we're feeling strong. We got Baron again. Min inhib is pushed down, but technically we should probably be pushing one of the side lanes down because we're not really gonna get much done here. Unless the min inhib was actually coming back here, then maybe this is actually a good choice. Either way, we're kind of splitting up here because you know, Pantheon was kind of pushing ball lane the whole time last time too. And this time he does have a Baron buff himself, so he should be able to push bot lane out pretty easily. So we split up. Pantheon goes bot, all four of us go top. And we're hoping that the enemy team does something similar, or at least like unevenly divides their tower defenses, right? Like maybe 3 top, 2 bottom or something, because that means we easily take the tower. Or if it's the other way around where there's too many people top lane and nobody's protecting bot lane, then Pantheon can just crush that lane with the Baron buff. So here we're just playing like the safe game, you know. We're trying to feel out what's going on, and yeah, we can see that there's some people in the top side, and there's probably the majority of them. Now we see Twitch reveals himself, which means that, you know, Pantheon gets kind of like a free pass that he's pushing ball lane. They're going ham on it, and I'm kind of pinging Pantheon to be careful because, you know, we're kind of losing vision on them. And we have this freaking Baron buffed up like siege cannon minion who's just like doing damage from like a really safe distance. We get the tower down. I do ultimate. I flash in. I just want to do as much damage as possible. Pantheon does ult in here, but I don't know if it does too much. As soon as Hourglass, avoid the Jinx ultimate. I W out, and I actually get hit by a Slowder, but then, you know, I actually make it out. And I'm like, screw this. And then let's look at what happens in the rest of the game. Pantheon dies, but we do get the mid inhib right after getting the top inhib. I feel like we're getting the bot inhib too. Yeah, look at this cheeky Hecarim. Just ease into the bot inhib just to get it killed. Ults away to get away, and he does survive. Wow. Ceres Gage plus Guardian Angel. In the meantime, things are happening middle, but I don't think much should be happening because inhib is down already. Wow, that damage. Wow, Kai'Sa's greeting out like crazy here. Oh yeah. Garen comes from behind. Oh, Kai'Sa like flashes to try to get into range to kill the Jinx, but yeah, that was kind of a worthless flash, to be honest. I think it was a fail flash. She tried to flash over the wall. She didn't manage to. Maybe she was silenced by Shogoth and that messed her up. Anyways, now we know that the Elder Dragon's coming up very soon. Can you see it somehow in spectator mode? I don't know. Anyways, I'm ruining the tab again by pressing buttons, so I'm just gonna let it be. Yeah. So, this is feeling really good all of a sudden. Top, mid, and bottom inhib are down. Like, at this point, when you have 3 inhibs down, the game feels pretty free. The only way it can feel even more freer is if there's no towers at the actual Nexus. That's when you have no Nexus towers left and no inhibs left, I feel like that's 100% a lost game. Almost like 90% of the time, I would say. So when that happens, if you feel like surrendering, I could kind of understand it. But in this situation, you kind of have a shot as long as you have champions that can wave clear like really easily. Super minions are really annoying to deal with late game, but if your champion is ridiculously strong at single target damage, then yeah, you can probably deal with like 3 waves of super minions. As long as you kill them fast enough. Anyways, here we're kind of like getting the finishing parts of the game. You know, getting that Elder Dragon, and then of course just making sure that, you know, we try to do things as a group from now on, because if we split up and do stuff, when we have something crazy like the Elder Dragon, then it was kind of stupid to begin with. But anyways, Elder Dragon doubles your dragon's powers total, which means that those 2 mounted dragons is like having 4 mounted dragons at this point. Anyways, let's time to slow it down a little bit and return to reality. Yeah, this video did end up becoming a long game because I didn't really speed up too many times throughout the whole game. But whatever, some people do like themselves some long videos. But you know, here you go. So now we're kind of like preparing for the final phase. We got Elder Dragon. Super minions are coming in. The important part here is to not get greedy because, you know, you can still do a lot of mistakes against that enemy team comp. You know, there's silence from Shogath, there's silence from Garen. One stupid move and it could be all over. Still, even though we have the Elder Dragon, like the threat is pretty real. But so the one thing I liked about my team is that they understood you have to play tactically when you have 2 inhibs down. You just kind of let the super minions come in. And then, of course, I see the perfect moment to just go all in, freaking Q, ult, and then Sonya's again, kind of like the way I did with the Shyvana in my other Rumble game. And yeah, no towers left. And honestly, the only threat left is Jinx. But as you all know, she was put so far behind throughout the entire game that she barely has the last whisper built out, and we just finished the game right there. Wow, that was such a roller coaster of a game for me, and honestly, it felt really good to win. Even though I had 9 deaths, I did end up having the second most damage in the game, only second to Kaisa, who, you know, I kind of pushed a little bit forward, but yeah, I was happy with how it ended, and honestly, I wish there were a little bit less players like Pantheon in this game because I feel like they are probably the reason why a lot of games that aren't lost yet end up becoming lost, even though it just looks like it was lost from their perspective. Yeah, anyways, I shouldn't be complaining too much. Solo queue is going to be solo queue. And yeah, I feel like that was an alright game. And also kind of like a little bit of a display of what you can do as a mid laner when things aren't really going too well, you know? Like, just win a different lane. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys for next time. Oh, and also tell me if you prefer this way, where like I put the fog of war on the enemy team so that we can only see my team's perspective. And also if you would prefer for the tap screen to be up at all times, because I don't know, that's kind of new to me, and I can kind of understand why you would like it, but it also feels like it clutters the screen more, so like it covers maybe the action a little bit. And I'm not probably the best cameraman for this stuff. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.